good morning, and welcome to Stories for the Cooped Up and Captive. Songwriters have a saying, serve the song. The topic for this month's Wisconsin Virtual Moth Story Slam is disguises, and I was thinking through my options. And here's a case where I don't even know where I got started thinking about this event. But by the time I thought it through, it became one of the most poignant events I can remember. And here's how it gets started. It had been 3 years since I had experienced intimacy in any form. I was sitting in the first stool at Tyranina Brewing Company, half through my second Rocky's Revenge. 3 feet in front of me, Oscar, the king of 43rd Street Wilson, was laying down on some Sonny Boy. I said, "It's a 9 below zero. Shouting, I can't believe what you are putting down." Joe Nosak was blowing the Mississippi saxophone. Unbeknownst, my sister, Sarah Healy, walked up, put her hand on my shoulder to introduce me to her friend. Just that touch, I could have melted between the cracks in the tile. Now, they say the blues is feeling good about feeling bad. You give me a flattened fifth and a slide guitar, and I am here to testify I can settle my mind for days. And it all started in 1984. I went to the student union to cash a check. A nice lady handed me my $40, and I followed my ears around the corner to the Grand Ballroom to see Jimmy Johnson, Buddy Guy, and Coco Taylor. The first hit, I was addicted. All through college, I followed bands like the Modern Humans, Otis and the Elevators, and the Mud Hens. I trolled Kingston Mines in the Checkerboard Cafe in Chicago, eating secondhand cigarette smoke and drinking Budweiser. Listening to Sugar Blue, Honey Boy Edwards, Hound Dog Taylor, and Pine Top Perkins, and I read the books. I found out that the flattened fifth and the seventh in the blues scale was borrowed from Native African pitch tone languages to connotate rising emotion, and that the blues guitar was born out of the wire out of the bottom of a corn broom being strung in a door frame of a house. Finally, I had to go. The day after Christmas, 1988, my good friend Kishan Kamani and I loaded up his dad's Oldsmobile, 3 hubcaps missing a fan blade, and we headed to Memphis. We pulled into Beale Street and listened to a man named Joe Buford blowing harp in the shadow of the W.C. Handy statue. We went to Graceland and we stood on the spot at Sun Studios behind the microphone where Elvis Presley brought a black man's blues to a white man's audience. And we traveled down Highway 61. A man who called himself Judge E carried us out in the country, and there we stood at the grave site of Sonny Boy Williamson himself. We went to Dockery Farms where Muddy Waters was born, and we stood at the crossroads. Now, the seminal event that is credited with spreading blues music north to Memphis and influencing the likes of everybody from B.B. King to Ike Turner is November the 21st, 1941. That's the day that Robert Jr. Lockwood and Sonny Boy Williamson walked into KFFA Studios in Helena, Arkansas, and sat down at 12:15, coinciding with the workers' lunch breaks, and played a half an hour's worth of live blues music. Sunshine Sonny Payne had been the host since 1953. So Kish and I rolled down the driveway and knocked on the door at 11:45. Sonny sat us down at the console, gave us a microphone, and led off with his trademark, "Well, somebody pass the biscuits, 'cause it's King Biscuit time. And ladies and gentlemen, today we have special guests all the way down from Chicago, Illinois. Kish and Bill, what brings you down and what do y'all want to hear?" After the show, he took us to the apartment where he found Sonny Boy Williamson had passed away when he didn't show up for that day's program. And he directed us to the Cotton Exchange in Clarksdale, Mississippi on New Year's Eve. Big Jack Johnson and T-Model Ford were going to be playing. He said, "Now, you'll be the only white folks there, but don't worry about it. just hand him your money at the door, walk up to the bartender and tell him Sonny sent you. Everything will be fine. Well, my friend Joe Whalen from vet school, his folks lived in the area, so he joined us. Joe was a college quarterback, 6'3" and a strapper. We pulled into town, found ourselves a parking spot, and stood across the street. There were no other white faces on the street. We could see through the window where the crowd was pulsing and dancing and singing, clapping. There was no white faces there either. There we stood across the street from the purest incarnation of the music that has influenced everybody from Eric Clapton to Erykah Badu, that brought the Rolling Stones and the British invasion to the United States. Now, if you ask me, am I racist? Am I phobic? I will say, hell no. But what bothers me 32 years later is there I stood 50 feet away from an opportunity to know what it feels like for Ty Mahone, Haywood Simmons Jr., Wayne Dunning, Charles Payne, or James Gordon to walk in to the Main Street Cafe in Lake Mills, Wisconsin. And I did not have the courage. The flip side of the BLM signs say, listen, learn, grow. If all else fails, keep something moving forward.